Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Jack TechnoP, and we're back here for another chill stream. It's been a few days. The last two streams I did were Dead by Daylight and some Amnesia, so I took a break a little bit from doing it. Let's get some more light over here. So if you ever hear a loud noise as I'm adjusting my light, I'll be able to fix it real quick. Wearing this because I want to keep the hair out of my eyes. It's growing a little too long, but I need it to stay this long. I just want it to stay this long, really. It's just, I just occasionally get to my eyes, and that's a problem, but I don't like cutting it off all during winter, because then I really have to wear this all the time outside. I already do, because ear problems. If I get an ear infection, it's terrible, but, like, if anyone's judging me for wearing this with headphones on, I'm not wearing the headphones to hear you guys, because there's not, like, anyone else is talking. I'm doing it specifically so I have a microphone right there that I can actually, like, talk into. That way I'm not just shouting at my computer camera right there, because there's a microphone thing next to it. So, I was playing Trove before doing this. Literally was logged on the second I sat back down after getting up to use the bathroom. I look and it just, like, the second I sit down it says disconnected, and then all of a sudden there's maintenance or something, so I can't play that. So I'm just going to log into that Minecraft realm I play on. I'm just going to log in there, do some stuff in the background. I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably just mine, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, that's not really the important part of this. The important part of this is I'm bored as hell, and I need to just find something to do anything. To, like, distract myself. I don't care what. I don't know what. We'll figure it out, though. And y'all can be here with me. Which is nice. I enjoy it when I get to do streams like this. It's fun. I sure have a lot to do tomorrow, and it's 1 a.m. currently, but at the same time, it's kind of like the thing where I'm already not going to be sleeping. So, like, it's not like I'm just staying up later because I'm streaming. So, I don't really know. But yeah. See a baby zombie running around on fire. I'm gonna go take care of it, because I think it's under a tree now. So, let's see, what's some stuff I can talk about? What's some stuff that's happened recently? Not much. It's almost February. Feels weird. Feels like now those two really shitty years are over. 2020 and 2021. Just 2022 is going really well, actually. Like, I can't say there's any too big negative things going on so far. I'm really enjoying it. Kicking back, relaxing, enjoying it at my own pace. From what it sounds like with my friends, they all seem to be having a nice time too. So that's good. It's very good, actually. I don't think my throat will be as raspy today as it was before, because the other day I ended up, well, the first day I burned my throat because I was eating a hot dog. It took immediately out of the microwave that I overcooked, I think, and it burned me badly, and I had to go get a water. But I think there was something else I ate the next day that got caught in my throat and also burned me. I'm not very good. I hate having to wait. I'm very much just like, fuck it. It's ready. I'm eating it. I don't like waiting cooldowns, so I just do it. That's very irresponsible. You should not do that, but I do all the time, and I feel really dumb after doing it. I don't know. See, I could really, like, I have some stuff I can talk about. Like, I just don't know what people want to hear half the time is the main problem. It's the main reason of me wanting to, like, have people join in to the stream. It's not just because I want viewers, it's because I want to know what you guys want to hear me talk about, you know, because I could just ramble on about whatever, you know, but is that really what y'all want to hear? I want to know. I'm not trying to be a people pleaser or anything, but I just want to know if what I'm saying is actually what people want to hear, or are people just coming in to hear me randomly say stuff? You know what I mean? Like, personally, I got a lot of stuff I can talk about, like, but that's mainly just hobbies related to me. And I know if you guys are, well, how do I put this? I know I'm not a bigger streamer, so it's not that kind of thing where someone's like, oh, hey, he just uploaded, let's go watch that. You know, I'm something smaller to where people need something that they can lock on to even have a chance of ever getting like that in the future. So I'm trying to figure out what people want to see or hear me talk about, so I know that I can actually get people coming back to hear more of said whatever it is, you know? Of course, it's hopefully still something I'm interested in talking about. Like, I'm not just going to go, I don't have any examples, never mind, I don't know where I was going there. But, you know, like, I want to know what people want to hear, or a baseline of what people want to hear. I don't know. But, yeah. Until then, though, until I really get anyone saying anything. I'm just kind of gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Like I said, if anyone shows up, they show up for some reason, so they must be wanting to hear something, or I must be doing something right. So let's see, what have I got I can talk about? I got something. So in terms of real life stuff that's been going on, Misty was like, "Hey, I don't get the chance. I mean, I do. I'm talking through her, like her. What's her point of view? Yeah, that. Hey, I don't get the chance to play with people much with Magic, or in person specifically. So next time you come over, could you have maybe your friend Isaac drive you out? And he also plays Magic as well, Magic the Gathering. Could you bring him out and we could test a couple decks and stuff? He can test the ones he's been trying to build. What the hell is this? I'm trying to scratch my back, by the way, if you keep seeing me do this. I don't know why it's so itchy now all of a sudden, but I just found a random cobblestone, like, playing Minecraft in the background this time, by the way. It's not Trove. Trove crashed, but found some random cobblestone thing in the background. But anyways, what was I saying? So basically, we went over there. He used his he let me borrow his Omnath deck, which he's letting Misty take some elves out of. He put Omnath, just the mono green Omnath commander. I'm gonna speak in just Magic terms for a minute. I'm sorry if I'll try to explain it in non-Magic player talk in a second, but mono green Omnath with elf like sub theme, so elf tribal in the background. So Misty was using stuff like, I think she used an elf precon from Kaldheim. I just used my Xanathar deck, and I played an angel deck I have too that I put the Book of Exalted Deeds Faceless Haven combo in it because but what else do we got? I'm just a goofy fuck like that. But what else do we got? She also played a couple more. She's making a Vadrock deck. Specifically like mutate Vadrock, like heavy mutate theme. It's just I don't really know a lot. I mean, like it's in its infancy. She just threw it together. Like we just got Me and Isaac went to the shop and saw Vadrock for 30 cents, and she was wanting that card, so I picked it up for her. She wants to get a full art version of it though, but for now she has the regular one, and we're gonna order the mutates. I think right now her main combo is she'll use a whole bunch of instants and sorceries, and then after she does that, immediately there's a card that literally has Vadrock on it. That's a sorcery that says deal damage to target player equal to how many instants or sorceries in your graveyard. And she has a way to make that trigger multiple times. And also the deck type she's going against, which is my deck, which is Mill, which I've explained in a previous stream/video, but I'll go over that again in a second too. It literally sets up the bomb for her, instead of her having to slowly progress it. And I do have multiple decks, but I like playing Xanathar the most. So let's slow all that down. Oh, and we all had just some fun games. I think Isaac ended up winning a few of them. I think Misty won one of them, but I might be wrong about that. But we all had fun, and we're going to play it again eventually soon. Maybe even do a tournament soon. I would like to do that, but Misty's not really comfortable yet with, like, mainly, I'll be honest, like, she just, what's the word? Okay, so for example, if she's playing at a table and I'm not at the table with her, that could be, she could get worried, be like, hey, I don't know if I'm doing this right, and there's no coaching allowed at tournaments. I can't be like, if she's like, hey, should I do this or not? She can't do that. I can't answer her. I'm literally not allowed to, so she would be uncomfortable in the situation. That would be the best way to put it. So we're waiting a little bit on that, but I want to soon. I do want to. One day maybe we can even do Friday Night Magic. That's something I've been really interested to eventually try. But anyways, so let's go back over what those are. So Green Omnath is just a guy that says, okay, well, actually, we got to go to a fundamental rule of Magic real quick. So, Magic the Gathering, to play a card, you have to tap, or majority of the time, I know there's cards that don't fall into this, but majority of the time, to play anything, you have to play something known as mana. Mana is just a little card with a symbol on it. That's actually, I got one right here. Well, they're called lands, but they produce mana. This is a land. This is a mountain specifically. See how it has, okay, it's pretty blurry, but there's a name up here. Sorry, name up here. Symbol down here. It says basic land mountain right there. Basically, no pun intended, you have to play one of these. Then you make something. So, let me get you an example of a card that actually needs mana. Because it's not always just one mana per card, which would be very simple if it was, but it's not. This is my commander, Xanathar Guild Kingpin. It's very blurry, but I'm going to try to get... Okay, you can kind of see it right here. There's a black and a blue symbol, and then there's another one next to it, but I don't think the camera's going to focus. Oh, yeah, you can kind of see it there. It should say 4 with a circle around it. It's a gray circle with a number 4 in it, a blue dot, and a black dot. That means I can the colorless one, the one that's gray, is just that's called colorless. The gray one just means I can spend 4 of any color mana. It does not have to be. It can be literally anything. It can be the red one I showed you before. It can be the black or blue ones I just showed you, or the white and green, because those are the other 2 colors that I have not shown. And when you pay that into something, or that one, so that one would take 6 in total. 1 blue it has to take a blue, and it has to take a black, and then 4 of any color. That's how you get that pure card out. As you can tell, that takes more, so it must be better. Just put that in your head, like that, and it makes it a lot more simpler. You can only also play one of those mana or basic lands per turn. So, like I said, usually, I mean, there's ways to cheat it out early, but you're not really supposed to be able to play that card until turn 6, because playing 1 per turn. But there's many, many, many ways. In fact, there's even ways for me to get it out on turn 1. I just don't have. I have ways to get it out turn 2 currently. I don't actually own I mean, there's other ways to do it, but the one way I have figured it out so far, I would need a like $100 card that produces like 2 extra of the colorless type that you can put out for free. Because there's cards you can put out for free using no mana, but those are usually a little bit more expensive. Because if they do something like if you get a whole hand at the start of the game, just 0 drops. That's what they're called because they don't take anything. You just put them all on the field, and then like you trigger like several effects. Those are pretty broken. Broken means they're powerful, by the way. If I say broken, I don't mean they're bad or like they don't work correctly. They work correctly and they work extremely well. That's what broken means. So, commander. A commander is something special. It's basically the guy who or card because there can be any gender honestly, but that's not the focus. Any card can be your commander. That says legendary creature, or legendary enchantment creature, or legendary like artifact creature. Any legendary creature has to say those 2 words on it. Immediately can be your commander, unless it's banned. But I highly doubt you're gonna find one that's banned in like the newer days. So, commanders usually have really big abilities, like very big abilities. Like when you get them out, the game changes hardcore and usually leans towards your favor while they're out. So some of them are really easy to get out. Like my friend Isaac I just mentioned was testing one. I remember what he was testing now, where he literally has a 0-drop commander. So I told you what 0 drops are. No mana. No mana is needed. You just put it out immediately. So he's even so cocky with it that he plays that before he plays his land per turn, if he has one. Like on the first turn, he'll play the commander, then play a land. And then the other because there's some commanders that let you have more than 1 commander at the same time, but maximum is usually 2. I don't think there's any way to have 3 currently. But hey, who knows? Next set could drop and they could add 3. But he has 2. One of them is a 0-drop. I think the other one's a 2-drop. And it's also, I'm not going to explain that one yet. I'm going to wait and keep going. So Omnath is where I'm going. At the end of your turn, all the mana you don't use either stays untapped as lands. So let's say you have a land that can tap for more than 1. They do make those. So lands tap for mana, single mana, basic lands tap for 1. But there's other lands in the game that aren't basic. So let's say you find one that taps for 2. Okay, that's a good one. Usually it has some other requirement, like when it comes out, put a land back in your hand that you already had out. I have one of those in my Xanathar deck. I have one of those in my Angel deck, actually, which is a black-white deck. But anyways, continuing on. So let's say you only use one of the 2 from that card you just tapped. Well, what happens with the extra one that you didn't use that turn? It just phases out. It does not stay. It just phases out and acts like it's never existed. However, with the Omnath, that specific commander, it's very powerful because you get to keep all mana during your opponent's turns. And then to your turn, it still sticks around, so it doesn't just phase out after your turn. And it actually gets stronger, numbers-wise, depending on how much mana you have in your pool, it's called. So that's what that commander's about. It's about just getting a lot of mana out, then tapping it all to just wreck everything. Basically, you get like so an average number for a creature is like 1 to 4. Like that's a pretty common numbers. You'll see by like by like the 4th turn of having Omnath out, you can get them to like 20. Like you really can. And green is one of the best colors for just boosting big creatures. Just if they're not big already, you'll make them big in no time. Especially mono green, which means only green. So my Xanathar deck that I have is black and blue. something I didn't mention before, if you whatever colors are in your commander's color identity, so since I have a black-blue commander, Xanathar, I can only have black and blue spells, and colorless. Colorless fits in everything. But I can't have a white card in my black and blue deck. Isaac can't have a red card in his mono green deck. So, but he can have as many colorless as he wants. That doesn't count. Continuing on though, I actually broke that rule when I was first starting. I had a Luna Apex of Wishes, a card that says when it mutates, which I'll explain mutate in a minute. Start taking cards off the top of your library, which I explained what a library was in the previous stream, but it's basically the deck of cards you have until you get a creature card, and just put it on the field for free, which is actually a pretty good effect, but in practice it's a lot slower than it should be. And I never used it for I didn't use it correctly. It was my first deck I ever made, and it's sitting unassembled practically over there on the table. But continuing on though, I accidentally had one white card in there, and it was, I explained infinites in a previous stream. Basically, these are things that'll cause something to trigger an infinite amount of times. So like this card says put a creature on the field. Somehow add another card with that to make it put infinite creatures on the field. Basically, you have a high chance of winning when that happens. There's ways to counter some of them. There's ones you can't counter. Anyways, I had one called Infinite Elves, the combo. I explained that combo in a previous stream, but I would put Infinite Elf creature tokens on the field. Well, the white card, turns out, can't have. Misty even had a whole black and white deck originally, with a black commander named Vito. And it was actually a really good deck. Like, I really like that fucking deck. And she's actually made it a black one that actually holds up still pretty well now. But since but that was her first one, and she did really well with it. And we just didn't know about that commander rule at the time. But, so, what was I going on? Oh, mutate. Mutate's a really, really specific thing that got added for one set out of like the 50 that there are. Actually, it's probably more than 50 now, but it was a very recent set. They added Godzilla in that set too, which is really confusing to people who's never played Magic before, that Godzilla's actually in the game technically, but hear me out. So mutate basically says as long as it's not a human, so it can be literally anything else. It can be an elf, a dwarf, it can literally be any other humanoid, but just specifically cannot be a human. Instead of paying a casting cost, which I told you was how much mana it takes to put out, you would instead pay the mutate cost, which could be higher, could be lesser, it depends on how strong the mutate ability is, and you put it over or under the creature, and whatever the creature is on top will have the effect of every card under it, except the numbers and the name, even though the name would count. So like if it's a card that says, this card gains this, and because it uses names every time when it says this card, instead would become the card that's on top, and it would have the same effects as what's under it, except the name and the numbers. And the one on top would still have its effects too. So it's a way of boosting creatures that are already out on the field and giving them more effects. It's actually a really neat ability. I like it. There's some people that hate it. I like it. I hope to see more with it. God, I'm trying to talk fast. Anyways, like I said, whenever I mutated something to mine, or I mutated it onto something, I got to look for creatures on top of my library and just play them free. The ideal would be I didn't hit a mutate creature, because then I couldn't mutate it onto it. I would just have to play it without playing its mutate, so that was sad. But, oh, and I guess I might as well explain Xanathar while we're here. So some cards you can play on your opponent's turns, like countering their cards, basically saying, no, I don't want that card to be played, put it in your graveyard, which is where cards go when they die. The color blue is most well known for counter spells, or in any kind, like playing cards on other people's turns is mainly a blue trait. Black has a little bit of it too for countering, such as, like, usually it's more of instants that, like, let the creature come out first, because counter means they don't even come out, but black likes doing stuff that just says destroy, so when they play it, you just put an instant out that just says destroy target creature. And, by the way, I'm playing black-blue, so you can see why I'm explaining this part. So, what Xanathar does is, just in case anyone can stop me on my turn, like if I play a spell that no one wants to get out, they physically can't. It says opponents cannot play spells during your turn at all. So they cannot counter me, they can't do anything, and this is once I get them out. It takes a long time for them to come out. But then, okay, here's where his ability actually comes out that he's used for. because that first one, nothing by comparison. Because the odds of you finding a blue player at a table actually are pretty high. A lot of people play blue, but Misty's deck is a black deck, black-white deck, green, red, blue. No, green, red, black. Green, red, black. Sorry, I didn't mean to stutter about that. Misty doesn't have, like, okay, Misty's Vadrock deck is, like, besides her Coma deck, which is another card entirely I'll get to, maybe I'll explain, is a card that basically says, okay, so, here, wait, I'll wait for that. Point is, Misty doesn't play blue a lot until now, but also she's not running counter spells, so there's no point to have Xanathar's first ability on her. Isaac has a 5-color deck, meaning all 5 colors in it, but also he runs, like, 1 counter spell, and it's green, so, like, and then his other deck is black, and then his other deck is red-white, because it stacks. Stacks basically just means you make it to where the game is basically unplayable, except for you, and you're just making the game go really slowly, and you basically try to guarantee your win. It's not a very fun thing to play against, but hey, I actually kind of like how he set it up so far. It's not so bad. But anyways, continuing. So Xanathar's first ability is kind of like never useful for me, because I don't go play competitive at shop, and I only play with those two. Tucker occasionally plays, but it's very hard to play with him occasionally because he doesn't really have an open schedule currently, so that kind of sucks. But when he is open, we play Overwatch or D&D. So, but anyways, back to what I was saying though about Xanathar. I'm drawing a blank to what it is now, what his second ability is, but it's this easy. Okay, so you look at your opponent or pick. Usually you're supposed to have 4 in a commander game, but I always end up getting the shit in the stick and having to 1v1 people, which is not good, by the way. My deck is very much, I need a couple turns to, like, get going, because my commander's not supposed to be casted technically until the 6th turn. So, like, I need that much time to get started, and Isaac can totally win, like, turn 3 if he wanted to sometimes. He's playing competitive decks. So I need some time to get started. The idea behind the deck is, hey, you get punished if you attack me. Okay, here, wait. Let me explain Xanathar's first ability before I get to that. I pick an opponent and lock them out of the game, basically. They can't stop me from doing this. I go, you can't do anything, because everyone can't do anything, but specifically, that opponent can't do anything either. And I take the top card of their library. They don't get to see it, I get to see it. And I can play that. And no matter what color that card is, let's say the card I'm holding right now is 1 color, it's 1 white. I can pay any color of mana on my field and act as it was any color to cast those. So basically, I can use a blue to pay for a white, which is pretty strong, considering I just told you the only way to... So, like, if I'm not playing white in my deck, I can play people's white decks if I'm going against it. If they have a card I know I could potentially want, I'm supposed to have cards in there that make it to where I can put those on top of the deck, but my Xanathar deck is not very optimized. How I play it is... Okay, so they get taxed for if they attack me. 1, I get their top card, I can play it anytime, and it stays exiled, which means it's out of the game completely, and there's no recovering it unless there's a card that did it, and it says there's a way to get it back. Or just, because Graveyard, you can actually recover stuff from Graveyard. There's whole decks based around that. I was actually going to build one, but I'll explain that one in a minute. But Xanathar's main ability is just, hey, I'm playing your deck for you, and I have pulled it off, like, twice recently. I've pulled it off more than twice, obviously, but otherwise I wouldn't still have the deck, but it's very fun to do. It is extremely fun. Now, Isaac wants me to upgrade it to another card called Sin Triplets, which is black, blue, white, and it also costs more, I think. It either not with money, I mean like mana. I think Sin Triplets is harder to get out than Xanathar is by 1 mana. Either way, though, specifically the reason he wants me to switch to it is because 1, I get white in my color scheme, but 2, and I can put Xanathar in the deck as a side card, but 2, instead of playing from the top of their libraries, I play their hands. Whatever's in their hand, I just get to play that, and that's pretty good. But I have the cards. Like, I have the cards ready. I just don't have a lot of the white cards that aren't. send triplets, and like Nilahor, who's Xanathar's underling, but for some reason has white in his color scheme too instead of just black-blue. But I have all that ready. But, oh, I forgot to say what I actually kind of run the deck. So 1, if they attack me, they get punished for it, ideally. And then 2, I run what are known as unblockable creatures, because when you fight, when you do combat and attack the opponent, they can block if they have creatures. The cards that I am playing literally say these cannot be blocked. Some of them say they cannot be blocked unless this... as long as this condition is not fulfilled, they cannot be blocked. So, like, for 1, I can only attack with that creature if I want it to be unblockable. So, but I do run a lot of ones that just say unblockable in general. So yeah, that's neat. I just need a little bit of build-up time. However, sometimes you just don't get that. Like, the game, like I said, is incredibly fast-paced at times. And does that make it a bad game? No, it's just, you know, I like getting a little further, you know what I mean? And especially, I'd also like it to where it's not 1v1s. So, let me put it like this. If the game mode is kind of, it's not designed for 4 people, but you're supposed to see at least 4 people at the table when you play. So, when 4 people sit down at a table, all of them are playing different strategies. Someone is going to put something out first that's going to make everyone go, hey, that's probably not a good idea to have out. Or that's going to affect us. Like Isaac's turn 1 commander, you know what I mean? Like just 0-drop commander, which that's his whole strategy, is he gets that commander and beefs it up to be incredibly strong. Okay, that's not good. We need to handle that. So they'll focus him, and I can sit down and I can do... Or I'm not saying pick Isaac specifically, but someone will do something like that. And that's usually what I need. I just need a couple turns of people not going, hey, you're the only person I can literally target, so I'm gonna target you, you know? Now you could just play it a little slower. Like, you don't have to play that card that's gonna make you immediately win. Yeah, like, you could just play it slower like that, but at the same time, that's a little unfun too. And at that point, it's just... it's complicated. It's complicated. What else is there? Also, I've been considering actually recording and live streaming some Magic gameplay, because there's a website we found that lets us play decks we can test and stuff, and also custom art cards. And it actually has that My Neoplasm deck I mentioned in a previous stream before. So if I can get 4 people to play that, I would love to do that. But excuse me, I also have Xanathar in there too, but or my actual Xanathar deck in there as well. But what else was I gonna say? What was other commander? Oh, I mentioned a Luna earlier. Okay, I keep hiccuping. Damn. But Aluna basically says, not Aluna. I mentioned the Graveyard Recovery deck. That's what I was thinking of. The reason I thought of Aluna is because the one is also a 3-color commander for, I didn't mention Aluna's green, red, blue. And the other side win con for him was Trample. So make creatures have Trample. Trample is just a thing that says if someone blocks and they have a higher number, they'll take more damage than their... The remaining damage will just pass through and hit the person, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Okay, let me look at this. If a 2/2 with Trample is swinging in a 1/1, and the 1/1 blocks, it just kills the 1/1. The damage just... the 1/1 took the full force of the attack, and just all the extra numbers. That could have been a 20/20 hitting a 1/1. They're called chump blockers. I said that weird. They are called chump blockers. So if a 1/1 blocks a really strong attack, or if a really low number blocks a really high number, there's nothing you can do about it. You just got to deal with the fact that that just fizzled out and did nothing. But if it has Trample, 1/1, 20/20, boom. The 1/1 dies and 19 still goes to the original user. So that's pretty good. Trample's pretty good. That's what the whole point of it was. It was supposed to just get really big trample creatures, because Misty gave me an amazing card called Quartzwood Crasher that says whenever you deal trample damage, the damage has to be sourced from trample to an opponent. Make a creature with that many trample counters on it. Or not trample counters on it, 1/1 counters, so it'll have a 1 number on both sides per damage done. So if it's like I did 16, not 16, if I did like 6 damage, it'd be a 6/6. Okay. Well, next turn, I hit them with the exact same ones I just hit them with, and the 6/6. Add those all together, you get a bigger one. And then hit with that one too, you get a bigger one. Yeah, that's what the plan was. God, thank you so much, Misty, for Quartzwood Crasher. That is my favorite. That's, if not next to like Gem Razor, because look up the art. If you're not a Magic player and you're listening to all this rambling, please look up the art for a card called Gem Razor. Gem. I don't know how they spelled Razor, but either way, holy shit, that card is menacing as hell. Like, look up the special art for it or the full art version of it. He's just sprinting at the fucking like. It's the, I would say player, but it's not like it's a camera. He's just sprinting towards the direction of something, and like red glowing eyes, like the meme eyes. He has those, and it's so fucking menacing. I believe Misty's specific and particular card art she has as her favorite one is, I don't remember his first name, but it's Hemophage. That might be his only name, but anyways, it's the full art of that, I think, that she really likes, or the special art variant of it. She really likes the art of that one, and it's Sensational Hemophage, I believe. But, anyways, so the Graveyard Recovery deck. Misty actually has one in the form of what she calls her Gyruss deck. It's black, red, and green. And every time Gyruss hits someone specifically, so it has to hit them, not a creature, they have them, you take, so however much damage that was, so let's say it was 6 damage, you immediately bring a card with mana cost 6 or less from your graveyard to the field attacking, and then exile it. So you get another card immediately that just hits them with less than that. I believe Gyruss, his other ability is you spend as much mana as you put in to cast it. So the card alone already costs 3, and then has an X counter. If it has an X, that means you pay enough into that, and that's how much it'll do. So if you pay, let's see, if you pay just 3, it's a 3/3. You pay an additional like 4 with it, it's a 7/7. So you see where this is going. Also, there's a really annoying mechanic, but not for Gyruss. If there's a really annoying mechanic where if your commander dies, you have to pay 2 more colorless, or any color, to recast it. Well, oh, and then that stacks, by the way. So if he dies again, that's 4. Dies again, that's 6. It just keeps going infinitely. And that's for every commander in the game. But Gyruss only benefits from that. You're already going to be paying the extra mana when he comes out. So he literally, unless he dies like 3 times, the commander tax is what it's called, is not going to affect him. Anyways. Yeah, that's just a really good ability, and she found that at the shop and was like, hey, I should make this, you know, and she did. She already had a deck that was black-red already, and she wanted to add green into it, so she did that, and it works amazingly. I'm going to pick up a copy of Quartzwood Crasher, a second one for that, because that'd be an amazing good card in it. Or amazingly good card in it. But, what was I saying, though? There was something else I was going to bring up real quick. Oh, yeah, my Graveyard Reanimator. So, while my cousin Casey said it should be something else, I didn't like that idea. Okay, so basically I went up to Casey, and I said, hey, I pulled this really cool looking card. Actually, it was like 20 bucks when I got it. I got it out of like a $30 box, and I got a $20 card out of it, out of one pack. And overall, that would have been enough to get, basically, it's seen as a basic success if you get the amount of money you put into a box. If you get a little more, actually, it's seen as a success with the box, even if you're not selling the cards. That's just a good thing. But if I got it out of one card, that card is, it's not really that the card was good, it's just the art on it. Not one, it was foil, and 2, it was just, and it was also a commander, and also it was a full art. So, the card, so I mentioned Aluna earlier. He's one of the 3-colored, just Beast of Ikoria. Fun fact, the altar art for King Ghidorah is Aluna, or other way around. The altar art for Aluna for the Godzilla series is King Ghidorah, and I did not know that when I first got him. But I got the other one that's supposed to be Biolante from Godzilla. It's Nethroi, Apex of Death. It is green, black, and white. I was going to make that. I basically went up to Casey and I said, hey, look, I want to make this commander. And he instead was like, yeah, you should do this one instead. And I didn't end up doing that. I never ended up progressing with that deck idea because I was like, oh, the one person I wanted to basically just shut me down. I thought that was a bad idea. I still maybe want to do it one day, but I don't know. But what I do know is Nethroi basically says, what does he say? I don't remember. Do you guys mind if I get him out real quick? It's been a while since I looked at the Roy Boy. I never really made him into a deck, and I know it's probably a really underpowered deck these days. Actually, not even these days. It was a pretty underpowered deck when it came out. The idea seemed cool when I first started playing the game, okay? But, hey, it might, actually, fuck that. I'm not even gonna try being like, if you enjoy playing a deck, play the deck. Like, you do you. You know what I mean? Don't let people be like, well, just because it's a slow power deck. If you enjoy playing it, that's obviously what you're playing the game for. You're not playing the game to keep up with other people's standards. Now, sometimes you have to do that if you actually want to get anywhere in the competitive scene, but you know what I mean? Like, if you're doing it for casual fun like I'm doing, I've been playing for like 3 years now without playing any competitive. I mean, I'm playing against competitive decks, yes, and I've actually... Okay, while Xanathar is not competitive, I literally beat Isaac. Now he played a little bit of the Omnath deck, which at the time was not competitive, but he also immediately switched to his competitive deck, and I won 5 times that night. 2 times against his actual competitive decks, 3 against Omnath. And I won turn 4 with Xanathar. That's a very early win, by the way. I have 2 win cons in Xanathar. They're both Infinite Mill, 1 triggered, because I got both of them in opening... No, I got one of them in opening hand, one of the pieces of one of them in opening hand, and then I got the other half on turn 3, and then immediately drew the land I needed to play it. I moved the laptop, by the way, because I'm about to stand up to get Netherway. So, give me a second. I'm also turning off my laptop for a minute. I'll check Trove when I turn it back on after I do this. I might, in one of these streams, I might go over my Magic collection, but I might title that, like, MTG Magic Collection Review or something. And I also want to talk about some D&D, but at the same time, I don't know what y'all want to hear. So I'm just going about just random stuff. So, here, I'm going to stand up real quick, grab my... Oh, shit, that might be hard to do. Fun fact, I just learned my headset cable is a lot longer than I thought it was. I still have it on. Like, last time I had to take it off. I could take off my headset last time before I stood up, so... Oh, there's a drawing I did for a friend. What was I doing? Yep, Nethroi. Moving some old sleeves Isaac gave me. Also, if anyone's in chat... Wait, no, I'll just deal with that later in a second. Hold on. I was about to say, I got some tokens at my local game store for the game because some cards say, hey, add a creature token on the field. And I got a couple for Misty while I was at the shop. And I also had to get her some lands, that's why I had that mountain ready, because that's one of hers. But yeah, hold on. See, if you buy a big box, not a booster box, but not a collector box either, it's just like it's a box of 10 packs, I'm trying to move around. Box of 10 packs has... It's the one I paid $30 for, got a 20 thing out of it. It's a little bit more now because the set's got older, but... Here. The hard sleeve it's in might seem dirty. The inside is not. The outside might be a little bit, but the card itself still in fresh condition from when I opened it. I'm actually really proud of this one. This is my first, like, big card I ever pulled. So we got... I don't know how well it'll show up, but... He's like he's a Nightmare Cat Beast, but he looks more like a dying deer with multiple arms. Again, if anyone wants to Google this instead of just seeing this, it's Nethroi, Nethroi, Apex of Death. And yeah, try showing it one more time. And it's foil, so that shine is actually part of the card. That's not just the sleeve reflecting. So yeah, or actually that might still be the sleeve, but you know what I mean. But yeah, its ability is Death Touch and Lifelink. Lifelink is however much damage it does to someone. They gain you since you hit them, you'll heal that much back to your health. And then Death Touch is... Okay, I have to... So I accidentally explained Death Touch in the wrong way to Misty when I first did it, so I'm going to explain it here real quick, and hopefully this sounds right. Let me get 2 creatures, because I have other creatures in here. Ooh, I have Infinite Elves in here. That'd be a good showcase real quick. Because I can use the creature from it. So, let's show you what we got. So, let's say we have Nether. Oh wait, let me read his other ability real quick. Whenever this creature mutates, return any number of target creature cards of total power 10 or less from the graveyard to your battlefield. Okay, so whenever this mutates, just bring back everything 10 or less. with its power. So it can be any mana cost as long as it's how much damage it does is lower than 10. It all comes back every time this mutates. It's actually really good, but I don't know. I don't remember what he was telling me to build. It was still something better. Like it was like he was right. I just wanted to use cards I had, and I didn't have enough to actually do anything. So this card is a 2/3, Midnight Guard. So half Infinite Elves, which the other half is Presence of Gond, which I have right behind it because it was in a sleeve together. So let's put them like this. This is how they'd look on the field. Nethroi is a 4/4? No, it's a 5/5. Nethroi is a 5/5 and a 2/3. So obviously 5 beats 3 because you're using the second number. Use the first number to tell how hard it hits, and the second number to tell how much it can take before it dies. Boom. They hit each other. So this does 2 damage to the 5. The 5 does 5 damage to the 3. Obviously the 5 does more, which would kill Midnight Guard, leaving the 5/5 Death Touch. However, let's swap roles. Let's say that Midnight Guard is the 5/5 and Nethroi is the 3/2. Or 2/3, I'm sorry. Nethroi swings. And keep in mind, 5 is bigger now, so this card up here is bigger now. It blocks. This card still dies. Nethroi does too, because 5 is bigger. Why is that? Why did the bigger number also die this time? It's literally Death Touch. Anything that touches the card dies. Death Touch does not cancel Death Touch. If both have Death Touch, both die. The only way to counter Death Touch is Indestructible. From memory. There might be another one too. So, they hit each other. Death Touch dies. The way I tried explaining it, but it didn't really work too well apparently. I don't know how, but it somehow didn't. If the card's already bigger, so Netherworld's a 5/5 and this is a 3/2, just ignore that Death Touch is there. Like, it's not going to matter. The 5/5 still will kill the 3/2, so you don't even really... I mean, say it was there, but, like, you don't got to worry about it triggering, because it already would kill it. Now, there was one more factor with it I was going to mention. Give me a minute to think about it. If the bigger kills the smaller, it goes normal. The bigger will still die to a smaller Death Touch. Oh. Usually in Magic, if a 5/5 and a 5/5 hit each other, or a 3/2 and a 3/2 hit each other, actually no, let's keep it the same. 5/5 and a 5/5 hit each other, bounce off. Nothing happens. The Death Touch would live, the non-Death Touch would not. I think that's everything, but basically Death Touch is... If you understood that, then, hey, I explained it right this time, so that's good. But if not, try Googling it, try figuring it out if you're that curious. But yeah, Nethroi, that's one of the first cards I ever got, and that was actually good. What else do we got? Because this is my box that not only do I have, like, promo stuff in, but I also put, I just put extra stuff in, because I have a whole shoebox over there full of cards. But yeah, that's about everything. I also have like a... So with those... Oh, I mentioned earlier those $30 boxes. They give these boxes underneath them, just like they stack them on top of. They're not really used for anything, because they don't perfectly fit cards or anything, but I just stick bulk in here. For extra cards I don't need, I put them in here. I have a second one that's literally just my backup kit for Xanathar for swapping out in and out cards for the Xanathar deck. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back now, but hold on. Y'all wait here. Ooh, while I'm doing this, I can put these extra sleeves that I have in here as well, real quick. Put them over Nethroi. Then I'm going to sort through what... Actually, here, I'll do that quick before I put it up, because I'm going to open up that box here in a second. Okay, I'm going to sort through the amount of things that are for Misty, and there's a couple that are still for me, so... Because I, spent like 30 minutes there, I was getting... The mountains and plains, because plains are what's the white land and basic mana is called, were the easy part to get. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Nope, there should be 15. Where is it? Haha. Okay. 15 mountains, and she wanted 15 plains as well, so... I know it's here, it's just earlier I knocked down the pile like an idiot, so I'm just trying to make sure it's reassembled correctly. I had it in order too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 14, 15? 14, 15. Okay. Now, since my shop, my specific shop locally, they allow you to take tokens for free. I'd give a shout out, but I'm afraid I'm going to dox myself, so yeah, that's not happening. But it's still a great shop. Let's see here. I was trying to gather, when I was looking through the whole box, I noticed that there's different types of treasure tokens from different sets. I tried to get one copy of each one I could see that I didn't really know if I have or not, or knew if I had or not already. So I got a couple good ones actually. I'm very happy with the ones I got. Also picked up some spare Elf Warrior tokens for Kaldheim for Misty, because like I said, she has that Kaldheim precon. Yeah, I got a stack of treasure tokens about that thick. For reference, here's 30 lands. It's about half. Hair on my touchpad. But yeah, I'm not going to be showing all the tokens off. I'm just trying to reorganize them real quick and give them in a pile that's for Misty and a pile that's for me. Another video I'm thinking about doing, like actually considering doing, but it would be hard to find people for, is thinking about doing a video that's teaching friends who don't know how to play Magic or D&D, one of the two. However, one, I have to find someone that doesn't play that I know, and that's a very small list, and also I don't think they'd be interested or have the time. However, I would really like to try it. And then two, I'm never really I'm pretty good at running one-shots, but I don't like running things I can't return back to eventually, you know? If I'm obviously teaching someone something new, specifically I'd be picking people that I knew probably, actually they might get the hobby picked up after that, but the people I have in mind definitely probably would just be like, oh, we'll just try this one time to be fun, I guess, one time real quick, you know, and then never bring it up again. Which, that's fine. I think that'd be the appeal of the video, just like a one-time kind of thing to see how it goes, but that's the extent of what I'm expecting, is what I'm trying to say here. That's hers, yeah. And again, that's not bad at all. That's just, preferably, that's actually what I want. I think it'd just be fun. I just want to try that. Magic and D&D to people who don't have the knowledge of Magic and or D&D, and not being rude about it either, like me actually being like helpful with it, not trying to be rude or anything with it. Yeah, that'd be fun. I remembered, well, Mir Misty, she claims she isn't the one who has it, so I guess I have it somewhere, but there's a land that gives like a 20/20 creature. I found the token for it. What's on the back? A spirit, apparently. But I found the token for it, and I'm going to go see later. I guess I hate looking through my box sometimes, but I'll look later through and see if I have the card, because if so, I have the token now for it, and I'm very happy for that. Alright, so, now for the moment of truth. I'm going to stack the tokens I got for myself, and stack the tokens I got for Misty, too. Alright. I'm not going to include that one all. Misty's tokens? My tokens. Hold on. So yeah, and that does include lands. Misty's stack, I should say. So, there we go. To which now I need to organize them, so hold on, I'm just going to put the ones that I need to organize for mine, which will take literally 2 seconds, because I just have to open up my Xanathar box and I'm done. Yeah, I grabbed like... Jesus Christ, I grabbed a lot more than I thought I did for treasures, but it's fine. And then not only did I grab treasure tokens, but Isaac gave me a card that just says, hey, not only do you make treasure tokens, or not treasure tokens, he gave me another infinite combo where I can just take infinite turns if no one destroys it before I actually get it out. And obviously I don't run it. Wait, no, why don't I run it? No, that's not what I meant to say. I do run it. It's just currently I have those behind. Basically, since I have the cards for those, I have 2 proxies in front of it. Proxies are if you don't own the card, you either get a card that looks like it, with like printed out. You either write it down in notebook paper and slide it in front, which is what I do because I don't actually have a printer, or just other methods. So basically, I have 2 other cards in front of it. Basically, if I don't do that in tournament, like I've never been to a tournament, so I gotta worry about that. But they don't allow those in tournament. But basically, if anyone has a problem with it while we're doing private games, I'll say, okay, do you want to deal with me taking infinite turns, or do you want me to deal with me just drawing a card whenever you play a spell. Both can be annoying. Also, one of the proxies is half of an infinite, so yeah, another infinite, so yeah, it's a little bit annoying. But hey, it's whatever they want to deal with. And also, I prefer to get the card. I want to get. They're proxied in because one's $20 and one's $30, and that's for 2 cards. That's $50 in total, and I'm waiting to get that for very obvious reasons. So yeah, that's why I'm waiting. So hold on, let me finally put these last few tokens up, and then I'm done for messing with Magic for the night, and maybe talking about it too. I have another subject I'd like to get to, which, yeah, it's D&D, so if you're not in for the nerdy shit, I apologize, but hey. Like I said, until told something to talk about else, this is what I talk about. La-da-dee-da, la-da-dee-doo. It's really funny because I completely basically... No, I remember now. I was going to say I completely forgot where I put all my tokens at. But now I remember. It's in a box. Yeah, these boxes are what I'm talking about, by the way. I don't know how well it's shown on camera, but this is the Ikoria one. And then I actually opened up the other one in a YouTube video, so if you want to go see that, Misty's in it. Drop by, say hi, Jack Attack MLP on YouTube, just like it is on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, just click my little icon down there, and it should be right there. I did that in the wrong order, god damn it. But yeah, Misty's in that video. We opened it up in an incredibly warm trailer that her cat lives in. So that's fun. I was literally pouring sweat every 10 seconds. That was not fun. Okay. Yeah, I had to like take constant breaks where I had to like get off camera or try to be off camera so I didn't just show me dripping sweat. Okay, hold on. See, I'm dodging cords right now. I'm dodging my power cord, I'm dodging my headset cord. Okay, there we go. So, I was going to mention D&D stuff. So, I wanted to bring up a couple things about DMing. Okay, I've literally been told by every person that I used to look up to okay, my computer's sliding because it's on my knees right now, and I'm wearing pants that, like, slide really well, but I've been told by everyone that I looked up to, or that DM'd for me, that got me started, that I'm actually doing really, really good. They're giving me really encouraging words to keep going. But the problem there is, it's not that I know I'm not trying to strive to be the best. However, I'm just worried that what I am doing isn't, what's the word? I know, okay, my anxiety's telling me the opposite of what I'm about to say. I know they wouldn't be saying it unless they meant it, but my anxiety's like, are they just trying to, like, hype what I'm doing? Because anyone can go see how I DM. There's literally 43 episodes of it on my YouTube channel with 2 hours each. It's public. But the way I'm going to see it is if I start self-downing myself, the quality of anything I do is just going to drop hardcore. So I'm going to have to just keep up. I'm not trying to talk out my ass and just, like, pump myself up, but that helps my self-confidence enough to keep doing what I do. I'm not lying to myself. I'm only I'm only using what other people have said to fuel it. But, you know, I'm not the kind of person that talks highly of myself unless I know what I'm talking about is right. I don't like saying anything unless I know what I'm saying unless I think what I'm saying is correct. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if I say, like, Sonic the Hedgehog was made in 1998, sounds right. Works for me. I mean, I don't know. Now I'm gonna Google that. Hold on. When was Sonic the Hedge? 1991. Oh, that's a little bit earlier than I thought. Okay, it's fine, but 2006. No, before that a little bit. Okay, so I saw a Reddit post about this earlier, but they were talking about how low the quality of Google searches are getting. Like, they're not giving right answers, or they're so, like... There's an example. Like, my autofill was giving me 1991, but when I hit enter, it gave me 2006, because I didn't specify. So, yeah, that's fun. But I wanted to talk about a little bit of the design process of what I do when I DM. I wanted to do that in videos, I want to do that in a couple streams. I really like that idea. I like sharing the information of what I do, because if people are, like, saying I'm doing it well, I want to like explain what I'm doing that makes it work so well. But at the same time, I kind of just run on autopilot. A lot of my sessions are improv, and I guess I'm just good at improv or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is to look to keep improving. Because eventually I might just not need to improve anymore, to just stop and stay stagnant. Because how it works is I'm good, and I just listen. If there's any feedback, I just alter it accordingly. And I think I'm just going to keep doing that like that. Because, like, I'm not saying I peaked, but I'm saying, like, I'm in a decent spot to where I can just keep doing what I'm doing and makes people happy, you know? Whenever I DM, I always try and make it to where at the end of the session, there's always a reason to come back for the next week. That's my plan. That's why that is also a problem though, because that means usually a lot of the problems they happen during the session end in the same session they pop up in, or if not, something's teased at the end of that session for the next week. Very much like a monster of the week format or a villain of the week format of like, tune in, they handled this problem, tune in next time to see this. Like the most a problem will last is 3 sessions. Never longer. I need to make that more of a problem. I've never really ran a campaign that just has like a BBEG that someone has to go fight at the end of the campaign. Misty's doing one of those in a solo adventure, but that's not. But then I'm also doing something for 6 people to where it's nothing like that at all, and it's not showing anything like to like Misty season. That's wonderful, but like I need to show it to more people too. Like that's what I need to show for improvement. So this next campaign I'm running for them, which is what I was going to bring up for, I'm actively planning, like, technically there'll be a few, yeah, which sucks, because I kind of want one that, I don't want to run the same thing I'm running for Misty, because I want that to be your own little unique experience. There's so much there that I want it to be a part of something too, so like some of the stuff that she's running through, I'm going to use for them as well, but also, how do I put it? The kind of idea is that they're going to have to go to multiple places, and one of the places is just going to be the literal whole campaign Misty's doing right now is going to be condensed for them to run through quickly, compared to like 7 other things or 6 other things. Point is, sure, that sounds like a lot, but at the same time, they're going to kind of be like picking and choosing where they want to go first. But it also makes sure there's like an end goal. They can't just jump to like all 7 in one day, because that'll end the campaign ideally, or something like that. So that's the newest kind of idea. Like, I'm trying to make sure that they can have a visible, clear end in sight, because it's not, and not every campaign needs that, but it's just more of like, it's both comforting. Sure, it can be a sad point, like, once you get there, you're just like, oh, what are we going to do now? Now we only can just basically do roleplay sessions or just minor stuff by comparison. It's kind of like what Endgame did when they did, like, Avengers Endgame, whenever they did Avengers, and now everything seems really minor in comparison. It's like, when you hit your peak, you know what the end goal is, the end game is, and there's nothing else to go with it. I never want to hit that. I want there always to be something else to do. It's just, I need to set something as an end goal, and this new campaign is going to be a new experience for me with a group, specifically, not just single player, because Misty's also not done with hers either. Because my campaigns are always 1 to 20. They're never like one shot. Like, I do one shots occasionally, but they usually take place in the world of the 1 to 20 campaigns, as demonstrated by the live streams I'm showing. Or not live streams. Well, they were live streams. Yeah, they were. I just am not. It's not that I'm not good with it. It's just I'm in more of a comfort zone with a lot of improv, monster of the week kind of thing, and from what I've gotten feedback from my players, it's actually fine. But I want to try doing something new and out of my comfort zone, because I feel like I can do it. I feel like, genuinely, I feel like at this point, after like 7 years, not 7 years, it has not been fucking 7 years, it's been like 5. Yeah, 5 years, about 5 years almost. Because I either started DMing right when I met Misty, or right before, or not met Misty, started dating. Right before I started dating Misty, right as I started dating Misty, or right after, which we just hit our 4 years on October 6th. Of 2021, we hit 4 years, so I'm gonna say 5. I'm gonna say, if not 4.5, definitely. So after about 4.5 years of DMing, I feel like I can comfortably say, and I feel like all my players can back this up, I feel like I can actually handle anything. And my players, I feel like if I called one up right now, and I mean it's 2 a.m., I'm not gonna do that. But if I now, that makes it look like I'm just talking out my ass. I'm genuinely feel this way. Like, and I'm not, the only reason I'm saying this is literally, this is what I've been told. I'm not, like, just trying to, I'm not a fan of talking myself up if I don't have a reason to. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not something I'm big on doing. I feel like I can do it. If I just take the time to actually focus on it, compile it well, and I think I can do it. I'm confident saying that. Something else I wanted to mention. Resources. So, being a DM, I never really talk about the resources I use. The internet is a very wide space, not condoning privacy, but not privacy. I love privacy. Definitely condoning privacy. Piracy is what I meant to say. Piracy, not good. However, I'm not saying do this, but I'm not saying I do it. I'm just saying occasionally you can find the stat block for any creature online, like anything online. And a lot of things I make are homebrew. That's very evident with my homebrew campaign. Like, they'll very rarely encounter creatures core D&D or not modified to the point where it's not even the original creature anymore. And I do that so because I don't have access to some of the books. I don't. And I'm not comfortable pirating it or condoning piracy. So that's another problem real quick I wanted to mention. But there's ways, if you don't buy the books, without breaking the law, to find the stats for whatever you might be looking for if you're not as big as a homebrew person. And again, there are ways to find the books online, but that's not legal. Don't do that. Please. And don't go saying I'm the one who told you to do that, because I'm telling you right now, do not do it. But anyways, and I'm not telling you how to either, so you can't even use that against me either. And this thing can turn into like that incredible scene where he's like, go down to this aisle, or like he's writing down the insurance thing. I'm not doing that, but other DMs is actually a really good resource. If you have other people you can go to talk to, it's a really good thing to do. Like, be like, hey, how would you run this? Tucker was literally bound. He after I left high school, he basically took up the mantle of DM at the high school, and he got someone else to start doing it as well. But since then, he comes to me and he's like, hey, look, I got this plan. I'm not going to say the plan just in case somehow any of his players see this, but hey, I got this plan, how could we workshop it? And we ended up turning what he had, like a loose kind of thing, to a whole, like, new even mechanic he's throwing into the encounter, and we planned, like, a whole backstory and stuff, and it got pretty well. I like doing that. That's incredibly constructive, I would say. It builds on the ideas of what you're trying to make, and it just meshes it together, especially if you're actively trying to help. Let me give you an example. That time I brought up, and this is Magic, not D&D, but this is a good example of what I mean. That time I walked up to Casey and said, hey, I'm trying to build a Nethroi deck, and he was like, hey, make this one instead. And then just cut it off there. Don't do that. Build on what their core idea is, while adding a little bit of your own, but build on that. And then hopefully they'll do the same for you if you ever ask them a question, like, hey, how do I make this beholder actually menacing, rather than just really paranoid motherfucker who's just trying to keep adventures out. Oh, well, maybe have him hire some underlings, because, like, Xanathar has a whole gang of rogues under his fucking, I was gonna say wing, but he doesn't actually have wings, but you know what I mean, like, just minor tweaks here and there. That's a really good thing. Other DMs are an incredible resource, especially if they actually own the books. Which, again, you don't need the books. I don't have a single book that I use for Hindering Spirits. I did have to use a little bit of Storm King's Thunder that I borrowed from a friend whenever I did the whole island. But that was when I was statting it out. That was not when I was running it for them. I had to get the stats. I put them on a note document, which I did not share with anyone else. DM notes are kind of just your own thing. They're a whole other fucking realm. Like, I'm playing a Lich character. I'm going to play a Lich character in a campaign that I think Casey's going to try and run for me soon when he comes back from the military. I don't know when that is, but eventually. Anyways, I basically not only had to write out the ritual for it, I added a couple it's like a 40-page document, but that's because I had other books access to me, because I went ahead and got them off the internet, like, where they're actually supposed to be sourced from, obviously. I'm not just fucking pirating them. But, where I take what I basically, it's literally just copy and pasting, putting on one big document in, like, Google Docs. And I'm not sharing that with anyone besides, obviously, Casey, the DM, because that's who needs to actually review it to make sure all the stats work, and any players who are like, hey, how does that work? But don't publish anything or share anything that is not yours. Like, I'm going through publishing the Hindering Spirits notes, but literally all that I've made myself. And if I haven't, I've said there's literally, I'll say in the stat block, certain things were taken from this exact person, this exact DM, from this exact time, or this exact place. Which actually I haven't had to do that once, and it's already at 50 pages, so. But anyways, continuing on though. It's just, So DM notes are just basically, you don't even got to worry about it, or even player notes for the most part, but still, just be careful of what you do and do not have written in those. What else was I going to say? Notes aren't always notes aren't always needed either. It's just when I first started running the new one. Okay, so the first campaign that we ran, no notes. There's not a single note anywhere from that campaign on my part. That was all improv. There were two things I had to stat out, and that was a whole vampire army, because I had to keep track of the stats. I needed to know where to go get the stats, where I copied and pasted vampire stats ready available for me. And then the other one was a mummy that got one-shotted. Thanks, Leon. Just kidding. I gave you the weapon. If I knew the weapon was going to do that, I should have expected it to do that. I'm just kidding with you. Anyways, like, those are... Oh, and then I think the Mega Basilisk, which I explained that in a previous stream, just a giant fucking lizard that can turn people into stone. That was, like, the extent of my notes, besides, like, occasional homebrew items that I had to send to the Discord that I could just copy and paste from a note document. That's it. This new one, though, I went through and added a whole... Like, I did stat everything out, and I wrote it in a way that I can actually publish one day, and I am doing that on DM's Guild eventually, so that'll be fun. I just gotta get it done. I just gotta finish up the formatting and adding the items. The main hold on it right now, besides my lack of motivation to do it, which I don't really have that big of a lack of motivation, it's just I don't want to turn on that laptop. That laptop down there takes a long time to turn on. I also just don't want to use it for anything practically anymore, because I got this one, but the only thing this one doesn't do is run games, so I still have to use that one for that. But anyways, it's just taking all the quests that were from Hindering Spirits, because all of them are on paper. Every single thing they've ever done is written out that other players can do. I have to take those and put them on that document. The two that are in the way right now is Storm King's one and the Dungeon of Death, and all the other mini ones, but those are the two biggest ones. The Dungeon of Death actually has a whole chapter dedicated to it, and I have to modify it as well because I fucked up one of the traps and didn't realize that a fucking hand had 6 fingers, so I need to be paying attention next time. Or maybe it was supposed to have 6 fingers in the next trap it was based off of got broke. It doesn't matter. What does matter is I have to modify it now. So that's fun. I gotta do that eventually, but yeah. So another thing I wanted to show real quick on stream, because it's bothering me. I don't have OCD, but also, like, why does things like to test me? So I have one thing I wanted to show real quick, and that's my dice. So everyone has, like, their own sets of dice they use, right? And some of them have for certain reasons. So, like, some people may have, like, a green dice for a lizard folk character they run, you know, or some people just have their original first dice they got next to all their sets that just happens to be their favorite. So let me see if I can get any out of here that actually mean anything. Okay, there's literally 1, 2. I'll get the 4 most influential D20s. Because obviously they're a whole set, but I don't feel like digging out the whole set of a bag this big. Here's my magic spin downs. One's at Korea, the other one is the D&D set. Yeah, Into the Forgotten Realms. Which I like that set, and I will defend that set. I liked it. It was fun. I always enjoyed it since it came out. Because it gave me Xanathar. And also I like making altar arts for the characters from, like, Hindering Spirits and stuff for it. And other campaigns, and the players kind of like it too, but none of them actually play Magic too often, so I never get the chance to actually use them, but I don't know. Is that it? That's it. Okay, so I said 4 most important D20s, I believe. That was a lie. One's a D30, and that's because my Nana one day walked up to me and said, "Hey, I found this in your pappy's stuff," and I was like, "What? Why does he..." And we also found, like, D8s and stuff, so either his son played it, or he played it. Something to do with those dies. I have 2 of those D8s. This is not the D30. We lost the D30 immediately after we found it. I didn't do it. Someone else did, but I ordered one immediately after learning that they existed. This is a D30. 30 sides. If I say D and then a number, that's how many sides it has, for those of you who don't know about this stuff. And that's okay that you don't know. It's just I'm trying to make sure everyone's included. Oh, I mentioned the OCD thing. One of these D100s has a chip in it, and it came like that, so I'm gonna have to, like, just live with that, I guess. So the most 3 important D30s to me, or D20s, fuck. We're gonna go in order of I got them. These are not in order of I literally got them, but in order of the ones I do have. because some of these I got before or after. The first ever D20 that I actually owned is this blue one. It's literally just solid blue with white numbering. This is the one I got out of the Tales of Equestria box set, which is it's a My Little Pony RPG, but just ignoring that for a second. That is the die I got out of it. It is the first one I ever used. I just rolled it and got a 6. I'll do that with each of these, except for the D30. Actually, no, fuck it, I'll use the D30. But anyways, I've already explained the whole thing about the MLP stuff on one of the previous streams. Oh, because I mentioned how I got my name for my channel, and obviously that's what it is. 10. Okay, finally got it to stay on the computer. Okay, next one. One Misty gave me. This is the second D20 plus the set I ever owned. Boom. It is green. Ooh, that's actually showing really well. Green with like lines in it, really dark green, golden numbers. Misty gave me this out of a set she got from Walmart. It was a set of 3 pack, and she gave me this one because this was her least favorite. I love it though. I love the shade of green, and I just really like it. I just rolled a... I didn't actually see what I rolled. That's a 10 as well. Okay, and then my other favorite D20, because I actually ordered this one. When I ordered this bag, which came with like 12 sets of die, which one of these was one of the ones that was chipped. So, I mean, besides that one, literally all of them were fine, so we're good. But, I don't know. I just don't let the chip get to me. The fact that it's there in the back of my head, just, ooh. I'm going to get the D6 for this one out as well, but I ordered this one separately along with the die bag, because I really like the idea of it. So, if you ever had a certain kind of popsicle called a bomb pop, that's what the coloring's based on this one. So, you can kind of see the reds. This is clear, by the way, but I don't know if the camera's pick it up. And the blues, and it's very swirly with some whites in between it. And just yellow numbers. The yellow numbers are really like they're really well, they contrast really well to it. And I ordered these specifically separate, but I wanted to show the D6 because I think it shows the colors really well. Yeah, there we go. This side seems kind of like an ocean kind of thing going on with it. But yeah, it's just really, really well contrasted with each other. I just wanted to show like the tools I'm using to actively murder all of them in D&D. So that's them. If anything's ever happened on stream, guarantee you, it's been one of these 3 dies. Wait, that's not the green one. Here's another one that's just pretty neat looking, but this isn't it. Shit, where'd it go? I put the D30 back, and then I put it up, and then I don't know where it is. It's in the bag, right? Yeah, it should be in there. Yeah, if anyone has ever like had a mishap happen to them on stream, yeah. No, this is the lighter one. I always get these confused. Showing off dice, yeah, I'm just looking, just kind of just explaining what I use whenever I DM. Oh, another thing I want to bring up real quick. I can't find it, but here's another one. Just like got random. If it looks like the stuff inside's not moving, it's not. I wish it was. I really want to get some liquid core dice, because that's what they're called if they actually have liquid moving inside of them. But yeah, if anyone's ever died or gotten hit, even like anything that I've ever rolled on stream, it's probably been one of those sets. Or of the 3 I showed. So I wanted to mention another thing that's really useful is homebrew in general that other people have made too. And if you don't like what they've homebrewed, but someone's like, let's say you want to make a gun, just a pistol for some reason. That's the first thing that came to mind for some reason to me. If you want to do that, and you know there's thousands of other ones out there, but none of them fit your exact. If it's for private games, don't be like live streaming this and saying you made it, or at least credit the person you do this for if you do it like this. I found the green one. After I put all of them up, I found the green one. But what you can do, take theirs, strip apart the parts you don't like with it, add the parts you do like with it, modify it how you want, and bam, shabam, there you go, your party's happy. Or hopefully you're not just making monstrosity. Here's the 3. These are the 3 D20s that have made like almost every decision across Sundering Spirits. On my part. And then these 2 for the campaign 1 that they were in. And for every other campaign here forward. Liquid core dye or hollow dye would be super cool to have. So for reference, liquid core or hollow just actually have stuff floating in them. I really want to get a purple, like dark purple set of liquid core really badly. Yeah, specifically the one that's chipped is the blue or red, I can't remember, but it's the D10. It's just black with one set of colors on it. This isn't it, but this is the same exact type of it. It's just mine. Oh, it's purple. It's purple from memory. It's not a bad chip, though. I can just put some super glue on it and shave it down, which I'm probably going to do very soon whenever I find it again. I just don't have super glue. Misty has super glue, though. Here's the D20 from that purple set. Or black with purple numbers, like it's just pitch black, but it's a very basic dye, but still pretty nice. Let's see. There was this one time Ethan bought, I think it was gold and metal ones. They weren't made of gold, but they were metal with the color gold. And, he let me do the first roll ever with it, and I rolled a nat 20 at the immediately I rolled a nat 20. I was like, oh, here, I got you, bud. Boom, rolled a nat 20. I'm like, there you go. You're set for life. Don't tell Ethan, but there's this really, really, really bullshit thing that happens with him whenever we're playing, where it happens a lot, where he'll get on his turn, he'll get the creature they're all fighting down to, like, 2 HP, and then the next person kills it. That's a very common curse whenever we play. I'm going to start letting him have a couple things. And it's not even, like, I'm not going to make it to where, because obviously he's probably going to be like, oh, don't make it just easier on me. I know he's probably going to do something like that. I'm going to be like, no, 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 no. Like, you'll actively earn some stuff, because I feel really bad when I'm like, hey, Ethan, guess what? You almost did it. Now, Leon finished it off with, like, slapping it or something, you know what I mean? Like, that gets really, really annoying even for me just to watch. It just hurts doing that. I don't enjoy doing that. Maybe at first, but nowadays it's like, oh, look, exactly the same thing happening over and over and over again. Like, okay, so for example, earlier I mentioned I was going to become a lich, and I had to homebrew a lot of stuff for that. And I also used a lot of people. There's a Kickstarter for the Dice with Dragon Eyes, and they're so cool. I think I've seen that Kickstarter. Really interesting looking. I found the purple D20 or the D10 that's chipped. Is it the D100 or is it the D20? It's the D100. Yeah, it's not even that noticeable, but still. So I took other people's homebrews and put it on the note document, because it's not even really, it's not only is it a homebrew conversion document, it's also a note document. Because for some reason, the actual ritual to Lichdom has never been flat out, like, it's been detailed in previous chapters, but not in the new one, so, or not chapters, editions. So I had to write in a little bit of homebrew, including just some parts where I had to fill in the blanks. Then Minsc and Boo's Journal of Villainy came out right at the day after I finished it, and then added a way to do it, but it's also still missing a few things, so the parts that I made actually made up for it, but I also copied what was in Minsc and Boo's and put it at the end of that, like, already 30-page document. So yeah, like, I did a lot for that, and I'm still doing a lot for it. But yeah, build off of what other people make, and not in like a negative way. Don't just be like, hey, you made this super shitty, let me fix it. Like, don't do it like that. Just tweak it to where it's how you would like to personally use it. That's like the whole point of the game. Like, if I hand you the Dungeon Master's Guide or Monster Manual right now, I see those as guidelines. Those aren't law to me. Like, sorry for bumping my mic. Those aren't law. And I'm the DM. Like, now for some people, some games, yes, that is law, and that's completely fine. If you run it, you're running it the way you want, and if you're playing it the way you want, that's fine. But, like, rules lawyering usually isn't a problem. We have a couple people that can be a little bit specific on rules, stickler about it, but at the same time, it's never really a problem if we're running stuff that isn't in the book, and nothing, like, negative. Like, it's still fun for the people that are rules lawyers, too. Because it's nothing like I'm actually changing big things, it's just like I'm minorly changing an enemy, like I'm making sure, like, oh, the dragon you know has an AC of 13? Wait, dragon? No. The goblin you know has an AC of 13? That sounds more reasonable. Well, no, this one happens to have a little bit of armor on it, so it's 16. Or maybe this one's a little weaker, so it's only a 8 or something. I don't know, but the point is, I tweak it in ways that don't make the game just miserable for everyone to play. So that's always fun. And I also learn from my mistakes, especially with criticism that isn't just, like, hard criticism. I learn very well from constructive criticism from the players that I have in my group. I enjoy that. I enjoy the little things, you know what I mean? But yeah, just build off of everything, including the stuff that is apparently supposed to be law. Now, if something's already good as it is, probably don't mess with it. Just maybe make like a variant of it. Like, example, I mentioned Minsc and Boo's Journal of Villainy, which I had access to for a little bit, because my friend ended up buying it and then ended up showing me a few things with it. And I did actually bum the Necromancer the Lich stats from that, because I definitely needed it for what I was working on at the time. I was saying, though, Tucker likes... maybe I shouldn't say the creature type. Okay, let's just use Goblin as an example. No, I'll just say the creature type. No one's going to see it that's in his campaign. Doppelgangers. He really likes the creature Doppelganger. Well, in Minsc and Boo's, there's a weird variant called a Dread Doppelganger, which he even said himself, why would there need to be an alternate variation of Doppelgangers? I don't know, but I know that it exists. Make a variation to something that already exists if it's already a well-rounded creature. You don't gotta have it. Like, I see a lot of people homebrewing like a million different types of kobolds, because like I saw one with a jetpack the other day with just a rock. He's like strapped like Buzz on a rocket, like, because it's literally basically what it is, except he actually is holding on to it. Like, just kobold army for artificers, like, kind of thing. Like, those are really fun. I'm planning to use a lot of kobolds in the future, by the way, so be on the lookout for those. Those will be really fun. But just different variations of things that already exist really can work if it's already something that's amazing. I mean, rules for D&D are more just less just kind of guidelines rather than rules. They can be tweaked and changed to the DMs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, just that's how I run it. There are some people who do prefer by the book, and I'm fine with that. I'm also fine with that. I've played like that before, and I'm totally fine with that. That can still be incredibly engaging. That's what it's made for. That is a made game and a completed game. Technically, expansions keep coming out for, but that doesn't mean it's not a complete game. It is still a complete game at its core. It's just people can take said game and modify it to the ways that make them happy, or enjoy the game a little bit more than just the core game as it is. Not that the core game is bad, it's just you're modifying it in a way that... I'm basically saying it for people who think that if they're not think, but don't know that you can do it, you can still do it in other ways. A lot of the stuff I don't run from the books, I run from here, on paper. Now, I have use stats from the books, I do that a lot, and sometimes I tweak stuff from like that a lot. But you should know that's not your only resource, and you're not limited to that, and you shouldn't have to feel like you're limited to that. Unless, like, obviously that may be like how your players are. But if your players are actively limiting what you want to throw at them, okay, now obviously there's an extent. Like, if you're throwing something that just no one likes, obviously, and there's a good reason for it. Like, I'm not going to give examples, but you know what, you can assume the kind of things I'm talking about. Then there's good reason to be like, hey, let's not do that. You know. For example, I'm going to bring this up not to diss Casey, but I don't know if I want to bring this up actually. But now I've already said it. I was going to bring up that we were playing Dragon Ball D&D the other day, and he's playing a female Majin, and he went to go get some piercings, and he mentioned he might want to get his character nipple piercings. I was like, hey, maybe not, just to make things a little less awkward, because like, I'll be real with you, this is not just his character, just female Majin in general wear pretty, not revealing clothing, but there's not much. There's pants, and then there's just like a sports bra or something. I don't know, would that be a sports bra? I don't know anything about bras. Anyways, so I knew it would be kind of like something, if it could be brought up and it would just be a really awkward situation, which I know Dragon Ball itself is a pretty awkward source material, but I was like, look, let's try and avoid everything that we can. But if you wanted to, it's fine. Like, if the players are comfortable with it, I don't care. I just wanted to bring it up just in case anyone would say anything. Like, I usually don't care. Continuing on, though, it's just, if it's stuff... How do I put this? If something's not fun, your players can tell you, hey, I didn't have fun with this session today. And that's fine. As long as you're actively trying to still... Because obviously there's no reason for them to come back the next week. They might come back like 1 week and then be like, oh, it's still just the same. Okay, there's no more reason to keep coming back. I like giving my players a reason to come back the next week. That's always something I'm trying to do. And I don't just want it to be because I'm the DM, and not because like, oh, I'm the DM, I said so. I mean like, oh, they're just coming back because they want to see more of what I'm DMing. I don't want them to keep coming back to something they're actually not enjoying. So I ask, every time I finish a session, I go, okay, what can I improve upon? what could I do less of, what could I do more of. Sometimes I get nothing because it was actually really good. Sometimes I get, well, there was this and there was that. But other than that, and that's something you should always do at the end of your sessions if you're trying to actually improve, is just, by the way, I'm playing Dokkan on my laptop while waiting, like, well, just sitting here just rambling at this point. But I highly recommend doing that, especially if you know your players aren't just going to be, like, hardcore, actively, like, doing it in a mean way with the criticism. If they're trying to get, okay, here's how I say it. If they want things to get better, they need to just cooperate. Not trying to be forceful with them. I'm just saying, like, they just need to help take the time to explain what's wrong. How can we improve it? You don't always have to just give in, by the way. You could stay firm with it and be like, look, with this one thing, I very rarely do this, but I'm keeping this way, and I'm not doing it to be rude. I just prefer running it like this. And I don't think I've ever even said that before. I've never been that stubborn with it, but there could be something one day where I'm just like, nah, I'm going to have to disagree with you on this one. I'm going to keep this one. No matter how infuriating it is, I like it this way. You can do that. You're the DM. Your word is law at the end of the day. I'm lucky enough to have players that respect that. I just never have to even ever say that because it's just, no one's ever really challenging that. It's not like a challenging thing. We're all just trying to have a fun experience at the end of the day once a week for like 2 hours. So, build off criticism, build off others. You can have a fun game. Like, it's just that. I just wanted to bring up, like, what I do, because I keep getting, like, a lot of people saying you're doing good, and then I wanted to say, okay, well, maybe I could explain what I'm doing, because I'm not even sure if it's just all improv and stuff. Again, that's why mainly a lot of things are going to be more direct with an end goal in sight, which it's an end goal that totally could be like, oh, well, guess what? We're actually going to keep going. Joke's on you. Aha, not in a mean way either. Just like a, oh, well, you bet you didn't expect this plot twist. You know what I mean? I don't know. These Dokkan missions are incredibly easy, and I'm going to do them real quick. After I get done with these Dokkan missions, I might be done with the stream, but, like, it's just, I don't know. I say I don't know a lot, don't I? Maybe I should name some resources. Roll20 is really good for playing when you're not in person. Which I really want to start playing in person again one day. I want to so bad with more than a few people. That's something I just want to do so bad as a DM. As a DM with like a big story and stuff. Hello, welcome, little dodo. 1142. But I want to start doing in person really bad. Roll20 is a good place to go. I'm going to start using that for the third campaign I'm running. Then what else is there? There's probably a few other things. Reddit, honestly. There's some homebrew Reddits. You can go there to find stuff that, like, oh, thank you for follow. I appreciate it. Currently, I should explain what we're rambling about. I'm rambling about just Dungeons & Dragons stuff. I've been doing that for a few hours now. Or not for a few hours now. I'm used to these streams lasting a little longer. I'm starting to get tired, though. I started this one a little later than I usually do. But, that's all I'm rambling about right now. What else was there? Reddit is a good place. D&D Beyond has like a homebrew section. I don't really recommend it. It's not bottom of the barrel, but it's like it's not the best. You can find some things there. I just have never went, aha, this is exactly what I'm looking for there. Yeah. You could find stuff there though. You can find stuff anywhere, who knows. It could have exactly what you're looking for. What else is there? DM's Guild has some free modules and stuff. Wouldn't recommend it either, personally. But also, I haven't really looked at their library yet, or that much. Like, Matt Mercer's Blood Hunter class, that's on there. So, like, and that's the only place to get it. So it's got some stuff. It's got some actually really good stuff. And that's the only place to get it, is right there. So it has an appeal to it. It has doing a summon. Please give me this Silver Janemba. Just please. Anyways, back to something that's actually going to happen. You potentially finding a good place to go for D&D stuff. So, as I was saying though, you just go there. You can find a lot of different things. You can even probably find a good substitute for what you might be looking for that's official too. Like, it's not... There's even a free document you can get. Like, there's a basic rule set document you can get for free I think it's from like 2018, but yeah, I didn't get them. I got like an Android 17, but still, there's a free document you can get. It came with the last time I saw it, where you can get it from is the D&D Nerds Adventure set that just dropped, which is very weird of a crossover, but I'm down with it. I got all the adventures. Those are neat. I like those. Pretty fun, actually. I mean, I think they're also solo play. From what I've seen, they look really neat, though. I might give those a try one day. Hell, if they're solo play, I might even run them for myself on stream. Except I'm also very, very, very cautious about running official things on stream, because I'm afraid I'm going to get copyright striked, because I'm not very familiar and understanding of all this stuff. So you'll never really see me probably run a module on stream, as much as I want to. What does this... Hey, Leon, if you're here, help. Hold on. I don't like Streamlabs right now. Oh, you're speaking Turkish. Okay. I was trying to figure out what language it was. Well, while I don't know Turkish, I'm still trying. I'm like, I have access, I have tools to figure it out, and I apologize for not knowing it. But uh, I'm sorry to hear that negative things are happening. I hope things get better for you. I appreciate not also being not a troll, a random troll person, because we've had those in the past, and those are not fun. But yeah. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to mention? Because I was about to finish up soon here. I don't know what else I was going to mention though. I don't know. If I think of anything else, I'll just start streaming again, probably tomorrow night or something, or technically tonight. If you go, like I said in previous streams, it's not tomorrow till the sun rises, or I go to bed. No problem. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I'm pretty new to all this stuff, but we'll be going. Do I play Brawlhalla? I have played Brawlhalla. I do not on stream though. It's been actually a long time since I even booted up the game. Who did I play? I played Orion, specifically because Casey hates Orion. The reason he hates Orion though is because there's a specific attack. It's like one of his like swing attacks up where he just knock people back that he hates having to deal with, and it's because it's really easy to spam. And once I figured out what attack it was, because he told me there was someone who did it and he got pissed at them, and then I started doing it and it was really fun. I knocked it off eventually, by the way. I'm not just an asshole, but I am going to go ahead and end the stream here because, again, it is currently like almost 3 a.m. where I'm at, but I hope your troubles get better. No, you're good, you're good, you're good. I understand. But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'm getting a little bit tired, but I might stream tomorrow night, or I don't know, soon I'll probably stream again. And this is basically what it is, just me sitting here just talking about stuff. But yeah, I hope to catch you in the next one. Now that you're following, you'll probably get a little response for that, or message number thing from that. So thank you for tuning into the stream, and thank you if anyone's watching this on YouTube. I will see you guys in the next one. Good night, or good morning, whatever time you're watching this.